morning students of class 9. Today we will take the chapter of VI, chapter 5, the snake and the mirror. As the title is, it is very clear that this chapter is on the snake and the mirror. Before you read, do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? I think everyone. What do you think about at such times? What thoughts came into your mind at that time? Have you ever seen a dog, a cat or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? What do you think? They also see their image. Now read this humorous story about a doctor and a snake. Humorous, a funny story about a doctor. In this story there is a doctor, a snake and a mirror. Now see, has a snake ever? Now in the beginning I am telling you the summary of the story. This is the story of a doctor and a snake. It had entered into the narrator's room. The narrator is doctor. He had just started his practice those days. It was a hot summer night. The doctor had his meals at the restaurant and returned home. The rented house was not electrified, so he lighted the kerosene lamp. Then he took off his coat and shirt and opened the two windows. After some time he settled on the chair and took out a book. There was a large mirror on the table. Those days the doctor bothered much about his looks. He therefore picked up the comb and parted his hair. He looked at his reflection in the mirror. Then he practiced an attractive smile. The room had many rats. They constantly made a noise. The doctor got up and he lit a bidi. He paced up and down the room. The thought of his marriage came to him. He thought of marrying a wealthy doctor. His wife had to be fed, so she won't catch him if he ran away. He came back and sat at the table. The sounds of rats had stopped. Suddenly there was a dull thud. As he turned his head, a fat snake landed over his shoulder. Before the doctor could think of anything, the snake had coiled around his left arm above the elbow. His hood was spread out. His head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from his face. Doctors thought and escaped from the snake. The doctor sat there as if he were a piece of stone. He thought of only one help, the help from God. It seemed God appreciated that. The snake turned its head and looked into the mirror. The snake then unwound itself from the doctor's arm. He fell into his lap. From there it crept on the table. Then it moved towards the mirror. Apparently, it wanted to see its reflection more closely. This was the doctor's opportunity. Very slowly, he got up from the chair. He ran out of the house in no moments. He reached a friend's house now and spent his time there. He came back to his house only next morning. It was about 8:30. He had with him his friend, one or two other. They had to move his things from there. However, they had little to carry. Some thief had taken away most of his things. There was no sign of the snake also. So students, you are able to understand what is in this story. Now we will take the explanation of the story. Had a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? Coiled twined, leaped out of. Have you seen a snake that coiled your any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. A full-blooded, a very frightening full-blooded cobra. All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath doctor. The topic came up when we were discussing snake. At that time they were discussing about the snake. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Now the doctor was telling his story and everybody was listening it very attentively. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. Now it was hot summer night, time 10 o'clock, and after taking his meal from the restaurant, he returned to his room. At that time he heard a noise as soon as he opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats shared the room. There were a lot of rats in the room, so it may be that was the sound of the rats. I took out my box of matches. I missed the homeopathic doctor, who is the narrator or writer, his box of matches, and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table because in this room there was no electricity. So he lit the kerosene lamp. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were mere small. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase at that time. His financial condition was not very good. He had only 60 rupees in his suitcase, and in his suitcase he also had some shirts and dhotis, and also possessed one solitary, lonely, alone black coat which I was then wearing, and he had only one black coat that he was wearing at that time. I took off my black coat. Took off means removed from the body. While shirt and not so white vest hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room because it was hot summer. So he opened the door. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables, upper part of a wall below a sloping roof that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats. A lot of rats was there to and from the beam. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep because of the summer, because of the heat. He was unable to sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. At that time the bed is also not moving. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair, opened the box beneath the table and took out a book. Now when he was unable to sleep, he opened a book to study, to read the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp, and a large mirror, a small comb lay beside the mirror. And now he put that book on the table where the lamp was also there and a comb was also there. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. This is the habit of everyone, to look into the mirror when it is very near. I took a look. In those days I was a great admirer of beauty, and I believed in making myself look handsome. He was a bachelor, and at that time he was the admirer of beauty, and he also believed that how he could make himself handsome. I was unmarried. Do underline, he was unmarried, so he was conscious about his beauty. I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence well felt. I picked up a comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. And now he combed his hair. Again I heard the sound from above. Now again he also heard the sound. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. Do underline, what decision did he take? He would shave daily and grow a thin moustache to look more handsome. Now he thought that he would grow a thin moustache so that he looked more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. Earth-shaking decision, to underline earth-shaking decision. Earth-shaking, very important decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face, that he would also have a smile on his face so that he looked more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor too on top of it. Again came a noise from above. Again the noise came. I got up, paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. And now he was in his dream, lost. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. And he was thinking about his marriage, that he would marry to a woman doctor who had plenty lot of money. She had to be fat for a valid reason. Now he said that the woman should be fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. She should not be able to run after me and able to catch him. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. When he was thinking all this, at that time he was thinking. There were no more sounds from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen. Dull thud, a dull and heavy sound. Suddenly again he heard a light and a dull and heavy sound. Surely nothing to worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snake's landing on me and my turning were simultaneous at the same time. Wriggled made sharp, quick movement. At that time he saw that a fat snake wriggled over the chair and landed on his shoulder. At that time, what feeling came into his mind, you can't imagine. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, shaking, I didn't cry out. He didn't do anything. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slipped along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. And now it came on his left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone. It seemed that he had become an image of stone. But his mind was very active and he was thinking, what will he do? The door opened into darkness. There was darkness everywhere. I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. So students, you are able to understand this. Thank you students.